Hello, it's Dave. Yeah, I could talk about Great Lakes drowning stats and basic water safety. And it was a would-be rescuer. Guy went in to rescue. Yeah, I could talk about that. Would-be rescuers often become drowning victims. I'm gonna need about 10 minutes to set up a home studio, and we can do a Zoom. Can you email me the Zoom link? All right, thanks.
An impossible choice. A man in Racine saw two children struggling in dangerous waters. He helped save them, but ended up drowning. The advice from water safety experts if you see somebody in trouble.
40-year-old Thomas Walker of Missouri went into the lake when he saw his young relative struggling near the pier. Walker helped rescue the children, but didn't emerge. The dive team found him an hour later, and he died at a local hospital.
Once the immediate rescue is completed, that adrenaline that was pumping now dives off pretty quick, and the person just has a heavy onset of exhaustion.
That's Dave Benjamin, executive director of the Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project, a nonprofit dedicated to water safety. He says most people, despite their instincts, should run for help in this situation.
A person should not be entering the water if they don't have lifeguard training, the current physical fitness of a lifeguard, or lifeguard rescue equipment.
And if they choose to enter the water,
they should take something with them that floats, because they will likely need it themselves, whether they make contact with the victim or not.
Just in context for us, how big of a problem do drownings continue to be in this region?
Last year was the deadliest year that we've recorded the drownings on Lake Michigan, for 56 total drownings. So we're looking at another possible record year here. And the frustrating thing is just about all drownings are preventable if we're doing preventative measures to keep people safe when they come to these beaches. The gold standard would be having lifeguards, and having lifeguards using the flag system, as well as having updated beach signage, which is strategically placed where there are rip current channels, where there may be an outlet channel from a river or a creek. The Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project is 24/7. When the phone calls, we pick it up and we move forward from there. I'm usually up every morning around 5 a.m. checking our news alerts that we're getting through emails, checking our social medias to see if we've been any communications through there about any drowning incidences which could have some fatal drowning victims. I never had an emergency in the water until I was about 40 years old. I grew up with swim lessons. I grew up swimming in Lake Michigan. I grew up swimming in the ocean. I was scuba certified. I had no fear of the water. I never had a drowning incident until I was about 40 years old. I had a bad wipeout while surfing in Lake Michigan, and unfortunately the leash on my surfboard didn't hold. I got separated from it, and then I got caught in a structural current and the waves, pounding into the pier. After surviving that drowning incident, I started to get really, hyper present to hearing about drownings in the Great Lakes, and started looking at other drowning incidents that were happening, speaking with surfers who had made rescues, some of their own accidents, and realizing that there was nothing in place as far as Great Lakes water safety or Lake Michigan water safety. So I started networking with people, connected with Bob Pratt from East Lansing, Michigan. He was the fire marshal at the time. He was a water safety expert. He was well known for water safety and rescues and lifeguard training.
What do you do if your clothes catch on fire? Everybody together. Second question, what number do you call if you have an emergency? Also excellent. What do you do if you're drowning? you don't know, I want you to be quiet. If you have an idea, raise your hand. Yes. Good water. Good idea. Tread water if you know how. But what if you don't know how to tread water? Yeah. Here. Yes. Call for help. We'll talk about calling for help and how difficult that is. Yes. Wave your arms for help. Waving and calling for help are what most people think that you should do if you're drowning. We're going to learn that calling for help and waving are both myths, and somebody who's drowning can't do either one of those things. It's impossible. We want to give you a strategy that's called flip, float, and follow. Last lap. I want everybody to say this with me. Excellent.
Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project is a nonprofit organization that was created in 2010. And we really have four basic functions. We track the drownings that happen on the Great Lakes. We're the only organization that does. Since 2010, there have been almost 1,000 fatal drownings on the Great Lakes. We're at about over 900 now. We do education programs, everything from preschool education to teaching senior citizens about water safety. We do a lot of school programs. We do a lot of police and fire training. We do lifeguard training. And we work with families and loved ones of drowning victims who have been lost on the Great Lakes and try to help them understand what happened and make some sense out of it and advocate for greater safety measures here in the Great Lakes. And we love the lakes. We're surfers and windsurfers and paddlers, and we just love the water. And it breaks our heart when we know that people are struggling in the water and drowning in the water. So it takes on a much more personal meaning.
Our very first clinic that we taught was a surfboard rescue techniques class, where we would teach surfers how to use their surfboards as a rescue device, because they are most likely in the water when there's waves and dangerous currents, and swimmers may get in trouble, and they're making rescues. So we want them to be able to safely make rescues without putting themselves in harm's way, as well as not having an injury to a drowning victim.